Hello everybody, my name is Pyrac, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys how you can make some Zenny or gold in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I feel like it's probably been forgotten over time, and personally for myself I haven't needed Zenny in this game for a very long time, but I figured I may as well share the quests that actually give Zenny. And of course the first method, and the one that theoretically gives the most, is the Ooze Shiny quest to go take on a silver Rathalos. All of these quests will give you a ton of silver, gold, and potentially platinum eggs, and then you sell them and you get a huge profit of Zenny from that. You can also sell the monster material parts to get a little bit extra if you don't need monster materials anymore. So it's a pretty decent way to go about it. There's also like 3 different kind of difficulty scalings to the gold making you can get. Obviously silver Rathalos is just on his own. You go in, you beat him up, and you get your gold and leave. Usually takes around about 4 minutes, like 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how far into the end game you are or how geared your setup is, or just in general how good you are. Obviously regular monsters that are like event quests generally aren't too dangerous, so it's up to you how long they take. You could also cheese it with multiplayer if you want, of course. Just post it, I'm sure people will join. Everyone needs Zenny at some point, unless you're at Zenny cap. Right, so as for how much Zenny it gives, as you can see, it gave me 4 platinum eggs as well as 3 from quest rewards. So I got 700,000 Zenny there for about 4 to 7 minutes of work. And we can also sell them all to get another 100,000 from materials, which is random of course, but you can get anywhere between that, any less, any more from this quest pretty simply, as well as 35,000 Zenny as well as a base reward. So we made about 730,000 Zenny as a baseline. Now there are 2 more event quests that can also give Zenny. As mentioned previously, there are difficulties to each one. I find this to be the easiest to reward that you can actually do. We're going to go to the most difficult one now that a lot of people do actually know about, which is the cheering Rara Rajang. And the reason as to why this one is more difficult than the other 2 is that there is a second monster involved. As you can see, there's a Shogun Cianatar, but we only need to take out the Rajang, so it's just there to be an inconvenience basically. So it's up to you whether you want to go ahead and do this one. I usually throw on like a guard bash build with full raw, so I can profit off the other monster being there. So they hit me, I'll hit them by blocking. Basically get 2 free hits every time that I get hit with the build. Makes it very relaxing to do when it normally wouldn't be all that relaxing to do. But the advantage to this one, if you can lock down the Shogun Cianatar, or whatever second monster you get. I believe it's Barioth, Shogun Cianatar, and an Magmadron, I believe is the third one. Magmadron or Almadron is the last monster that can appear in here. You don't really want to deal with any of them, in all honesty, but the advantage to it is, with there being a second monster, he has reduced health. So if you don't like fighting Rajang, it might make it a little bit easier, but again, I don't really recommend doing this quest all that much for how infuriating it can be. If you're playing with other people, it's probably completely fine, but I usually play solo, so this one is definitely the least convenient for me personally to do. As you can see, you can just block everything, and it does damage. Nice, we just stunned the Rajang by blocking. As I said, Guard Bash is an extremely comfortable way to do this quest, so you don't have to deal with the other monster basically, as well as getting extra damage from blocking the other one. As you can see, it's been about 3 minutes. I've put in very little effort, just been blocking things and swinging away. And Rajang is almost down because of that reduced health pool. We've even broken a few parts on the Shogun without aiming for him at all, so it's very nice to do that. If you want to sit here and block away, you can deal with them quite easy. See? Very easy. Even get some bonus materials from the broken parts on Shogun, is what I was going to mention. But we'll show the results of this quest. As you can see, it was under 5 minutes. 4 minutes 13 even, but this quest is quite infuriating to do, especially if you get some of the more annoying secondary monsters. It can be quite a hassle. As for results, here are the quest rewards from this one. I believe this one only gives silvers, 1 platinum, and a bunch of gold, but I'll calculate it up for you. Alright, so in total, this quest gave me 880,000 Zenny, and with selling the materials, roughly another 100,000 Zenny, so it is another good way to get some quick Zenny. It also gives 26,000 baseline, so roughly 900,000 per quest, but again, it's up to you whether you want to deal with that second monster. It is a big factor in the enjoyment of the quest. And if you're not enjoying the game and enjoying playing it, you're not going to want to keep doing these grinds. So find one that works with you. I'm going to show the third option. This is the easiest one, and it was the earliest version we got. So I believe it gives the least amount of Zenny, but it is quite relaxing to do. And that is, of course, the Daimyo and Pearls event quest. These are all master rank, by the way, but as mentioned, this quest is easily the easiest of the three to do, simply because it's just a red crab on his own. There's no special gimmicks to it. You just go in, fight a red crab, and leave. You get the materials, you can either sell them, you get, I believe it's pearls as well, this one, or like golden eggs is what you get from this one, silver and golden eggs. So that is the reward from it, as well as the Daimyo parts to sell. You get, I believe, somewhere around 100,000 from this one, but we'll find out exactly the amounts that it decides to give me after the quest. So yeah, you just go in, beat up the crab. I think it's been less than 2 minutes at the moment. I just spam 2 buttons and let my dog spin away on it. Yeah, less than 2 minutes. You just poke the crab until it goes down, or obviously swing at it based on weapon. But we'll get to see exactly how much this quest gave me. These are all one takes as well, so the amounts you'll get will be varying either above or below what I get, or if you get the exact amount, then cool. But this will be the rough range of Zenny that you will acquire from these quests. Right, as for the quest rewards, as you can see, it gave me 2 golden eggs and 3 silvers. So this method is quite outdated. Just by looking at it, it gave about 70,000 Zenny, and the parts gave another 18k, and it gave 10,000 rewards. So about 100,000, as I guessed at the middle of the hunt, gives about 100,000 Zenny per quest, and it takes less than 2 minutes to do, given your build, of course. Better builds, it'll be faster, worse builds, it'll be slower. But there is one more final method that I personally use to build up my Zenny without actually trying to build up my Zenny at all, and that is just to do anomaly monsters. Now, the advantage to anomaly monsters, as I'm sure a lot of you know, you can have the followers with you. You can definitely do multiplayer because it's what most people do since it is the end game of the game. You can get materials for anomaly crafting or curious crafting, as well as materials to stockpile. You can sell those materials for quite a bit of Zenny, but let's see exactly how much money I get from a singular run. This is just against the level 300 monster, with the modifier that I get 4 feints, as well as a 25-minute time limit. It's just a Valstrax. And if you wanted to see the full fights of any of these monsters, you can probably find them on the channel somewhere. I've got over 700 videos. I'm sure you'll be able to find something to do with any of these monsters, or the event quests in question, if you wanted to go see the full hunts. Although they're probably quite outdated because I have not had to use the event quests for quite a long time. Alright, so the final method down, we'll see how much Zenny I just get from fighting a regular monster in the endgame. So you can compare it with the other 3 and decide whether you want to get extra materials and whatnot, or sell the extra materials and see how much Zenny you'll get. I'll have them all neatly printed on screen for you as well if you want to see which method you want to do at the end as a summary of the video. So from this quest, you can see we got no eggs, which is okay. We still get over 1 million Zenny just from these anomaly materials. At least I imagine that's mostly what the money is coming from. But either way, you can see we get 1,005,100 Zenny from this quest. So it is a good chunk of change just for fighting the regular monsters. It's already higher than what we got from the best event quest, as well as 179,705 Zenny from the total up here as well. So as a baseline, you are at least getting 1,179,000 Zenny. So it is up to you which one you choose to do. But as mentioned just earlier on, here are all the totals for which quest gives what, as well as the one that I normally use, which is just to go fight anomaly monsters and either sell their materials or stockpile them. You will also get extra gold, silver, and platinum eggs just by doing the regular quests. As mentioned, I haven't touched those proper egg quests in a very, very long time, and you can see how many I've stockpiled just by doing regular things. I've got 290, 2,600 of the gold ones, 50 and whatnot. I've just gotten these from playing the game without doing those egg quests. Hopefully this can help some of you all out. I know these ways have kind of been lost over time just by the videos being old inherently, as well as the event quest being quite old at this point. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.